Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their day. Now today I want to actually talk about a new addition that was made onto the allengelhard.com website. Of course, the information that we learn about these vintage silver bars and rounds is always changing, and so it's always good to kind of keep up to date with the latest information. And so this is going to be one of the latest additions on the allengelhard.com website. It's actually a bar that was produced for Madison Mint. All Engelhard estimates that this is a 1000 minted bar. And recently this bar was selling on eBay auction. I was kind of keeping an eye on it. I was thinking, hey, this is a bar that I purchased in the past. I've gotten at a pretty reasonable premium, but this was before it was known as an Engelhard bar. I had only actually purchased it because I thought, hey, this is a little bit reminiscent of an Engelhard, but of course, when you look at that weight stamp, there's a little bit of differences. You notice that the one is not spelled out on the Engelhard bar from the early 1980s. So to me, I had my doubts about whether this was an Engelhard bar, but now all Engelhard has actually confirmed that it is a pretty rare Engelhard bar. And so after it was established on Engelhard, I noticed that one of these was selling on auction and actually sold for over $100 for a 1 ounce bar. And so that is to be expected for such a low minted and recently established Engelhard bar, but I was happy that I was able to pick one of these up in the past. Another bar that I've been picking up in the past was the Silvertown bar, and it actually shares a very similar style to this Madison Mint bar, but in fact, this is not an Engelhard bar according to allengelhard.com. Nowhere on the All Engelhard website will you see this bar. However, if you go on eBay, you will see some people marketing this Silvertown bar as an Engelhard bar, or at least an Engelhard style bar. But again, there's no definitive information that this is indeed an Engelhard bar. Why then are some individuals on eBay marketing it as such? Well, I myself bought this bar initially when it was marketed as an Engelhard bar, and guess who was marketing it that way? It was actually good friends at Apex. And so without any definitive information, they actually were marketing these and selling these as Silvertown bars produced by Engelhard, but in fact we actually don't have any information about that. And later on down the line, I noticed on their listing information they actually withdrew that information, that in fact it's just a Silvertown bar produced by Silvertown. That's all they tell you now. But previously they were actually marketing and selling these bars by the dozens as Engelhard/Silvertown bars. And so unfortunately many people were misled there. Maybe in the future we'll find out that, hey, these actually were Engelhard bars, but at this present time we don't have any mintage information for these bars, and we don't have definitive information, despite what Apex might say that these are actually Engelhard bars. These, on the other hand, are. So it'll be interesting to see the price action and how many of these maybe surface in the future now that we have some established information that they are Engelhard. Anyways, I hope you found this information useful. I hope you found this video interesting. Cheers.